LeBron's block in 2016, Jordan's final shot in 1998, Kobe's 81-point game. These aren't just highlights, they're moments etched into culture, shared memories, iconic images, emotional time capsules. And every time we ask, who's the GOAT? We turn to the usual candidates: rings, MVPs, points, and statistics. We argue with charts, with analytics, with comparisons that run pages long. But deep down, we know something else is driving this debate. Because if it's just about the numbers, we wouldn't still be fighting about it at barbershops, on Twitter, and in group chats 20 years later. The truth, numbers inform the debate, but narratives decide it. We love stats because they feel clean, objective, neutral, like science. But the second we choose which stat to value most, we're making a judgment call. If championships are the standard, then it's Bill Russell. If peak production is the bar, it's Will Chamberlain. Longevity? That's LeBron Raymond James. Efficiency? That's between Jordan or maybe even Stephen Curry. The problem isn't the data. It's the story we wrap around the data. We say 6-0 in the finals, like it's the holy grail, but ignore the years Jordan didn't make it there. We say 4-6 like getting to finals is a weakness, instead of realizing that kind of consistency is historic. We weaponize stats to confirm our beliefs, not to challenge them. Because even when we think we're being logical, we're just looking for numbers that match the story we already believe. We remember how players made us feel, not what their player efficiency rating was in 2013. Why? Because the human brain is wired to think in stories. Narrative psychology shows us we process identity, memory, and morality through storytelling. Stacks activate the mind, stories activate the soul. That's why the flu game hits harder than a game score. Why the block sticks with you more than LeBron's exact shooting percentage. Why Mamba mentality feels like something you can apply to your own life. And once you emotionally buy into a player's story, your brain wants to believe it. That's confirmation bias in action. That's why Jordan fans double down, why LeBron defenders stay loud, and why Kobe fans swear by the mentality. Because they didn't just watch greatness, they felt it. And that feeling is unforgettable. But where do these stories come from? A lot of the time, they're carefully built, curated, and packaged by the media machine. Jordan didn't just become the GOAT, he became a global myth. Be like Mike, they say. The shoes, the commercials, the highlight reels, and ESPN made sure Jordan's story played on a loop until it became the truth. And then came The Last Dance, a documentary that reminded the world of MJ's intensity, dominance, and drama. It wasn't just a documentary, it was a reminder of a legacy. And it worked. Google searches for Jordan GOAT exploded. His status went from debated to cemented again. Now, look at LeBron's story. It's not as clean. He's been the villain, the hero, the prodigy, the washed up king, the comeback kid. Sometimes all in the same year. He doesn't have a tidy story, but he has something real. Evolution. And one day, when LeBron gets his version of The Last Dance, a full, honest cinematic retelling of everything he's been through, the conversation might shift all over again. Because as much as we act like the GOAT debate is about stats, it's always been about legacy. And legacy is just a story with staying power. Well, let's be fair. Numbers do matter. They're the skeleton, the framework, but the flesh, the feeling, the weight, that comes from narratives. Remember LeBron's 51 points in Game 1 of the 2018 Finals? A masterpiece, isn't it? Well, it was overshadowed by J.R. Smith's useless whatever that play is. I don't know. I really don't want to remember that. But fans remember LeBron's face, his frustration, his brilliance in a hopeless situation. That image, that moment, it matters more than the stat line. Well, now let's think about Kobe's 61-point farewell game. Was it efficient? Not really. But did it feel poetic? Absolutely. It was a curtain call, a love letter, a mic drop on a career built on obsession. It wasn't the most technically impressive game, but it was the most Kobe game ever. And that's the point. Stats without a story are cold. Stories without stats are just hype. But when the two align, that's legacy. And that's what GOATs are made of. So, who's the GOAT? Is it Jordan, the flawless assassin with perfect finals record? Is it LeBron, the modern day juggernaut who's rewritten what greatness looks like? Is it Kobe, the relentless warrior who turned pain into poetry? Or is it Kareem, who dominated for decades with grace and brilliance? Here's the truth though. There is no objective GOAT. There's only your GOAT. I know it sounds cheesy and corny, but the one that matters is the one who shaped how you see the game, the one who taught you a very valuable lesson, and the one who made you believe in the game of basketball. Because when we talk about greatness, we're not just talking about points and trophies. We're talking about who made us feel like we were witnessing something divine. The GOAT isn't the one with the best stats. He's the one who told the best story and made you a part of it. So now it's your turn. Who's the GOAT? And more importantly, why? Not just the numbers. Tell me the moment, the memory, the story that made you believe in your guy. Drop it in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you vibe with this kind of deep dive basketball video essay type of thing, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. Because we're just getting started. And the story, it's still being written.